people are not treated fairly as white people. It's not fair. Are we white people? Yes. You.
What color skin? What color is your skin?
Peach.
Peach?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not white, right? It's kind of more like a peach.
Yeah.
And what color is your best friend at school, Vinicius? What color is his skin?
Brown.
Yeah. What color is Sister Joyce's skin?
Brown.
Yeah. What's the difference between people who have peach skin or brown skin?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Yeah.
I think white people are so triggered by black joy because they have zero control over it. And white people are all about control. And anything they don't get to control and manage and dictate freaks them the hell out.
They don't get to be the leader.
Growing up in the mountains of North Carolina, I was taught racism. From as young as I can remember, I was told black people are violent. Black people are lazy. Black people are not as smart as white people. I remember my dad told me that black people are too lazy to work, and so they depend on welfare to live, and they sell drugs. 10 minutes after my dad said that to me, a man knocked on the door. I let him in. He handed my dad some money. My dad weighed out some marijuana and a few pills and handed it to that gentleman. And then we went to the store to buy some groceries. We didn't buy groceries with the money that man just handed my father. It was little yellow, blue, and green food coupons. So my dad is trying to teach me that black people are drug dealers on welfare while my dad was selling drugs out the living room, living on welfare. You see, he would tell me, son, I work very hard. I don't make enough money to provide for you kids, so that's why I sell these drugs. I just love you so much. And these food stamps, well, I pay my taxes, so I earn them. You see, the indoctrination begins at a very young age. We are taught without even knowing it, there are two Americas. Despite marijuana use with the black community and the white community at the same rate, the black community is arrested and convicted at a rate 3 times higher than white America. There are black Americans in prison right now serving 30 and 40-year sentences for marijuana, while corporations are becoming multi-billion-dollar businesses selling marijuana. There are two Americas. If a man broke in my house right now, and I shot that man in the back, albeit in my own house, I could not claim self-defense because I shot him in the back. But a police officer can shoot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times and still be at work. If that's okay with you, we are on different moral platforms. We are on different ethical existences if that's okay with you.
Hello guys, now white folks are waking up and they are noticing that whatever they've always been told about black, it was all a stereotype, and they are not going to listen to their predecessors anymore. They are going to choose their path once again. It is not going to be anyone choosing for them, but they are going to choose what is right for them and what is wrong, because they now realize that they've lived a lie for the longest. Now, I just don't want to speak more of it now because I'll be reacting to the video, so make sure that you watch to the very end and get to hear what I have to say about this. But for now, let's buckle up and get to see it for ourselves, and then let's be back here.
I told this story in a video. I've mentioned it on podcasts before, but I've never made a video and told the story. My mother, seen here, was 16 years old when I was born. My dad was 21. They'd been together since she was 14, so she was 14, he was 19 when they got together. You guys have heard me talk about my dad before. He was very racist. My mother will tell you the same. And my mother, being very young and uneducated, she just kind of went along with whatever my dad did. And he was also abusive. My mother was abused. And I talked to her before I made this video to make sure that she's okay with me telling that part of her story. My dad was a domestic abuser and also a child abuser. He abused me as well. That's not the point of this video, though. When I was 3 years old, my mother was 19, she found the courage to leave my dad, which wasn't easy to do. And the divorce was nasty because my dad he's passed away now, a pretty controlling, narcissistic type guy. And shortly after leaving my dad, my mother was in a relationship with another man who was a black man. And my dad being the racist. See, I was raised in the 80s in North Carolina, and my dad was a racist. So her leaving him for a black man was like this big taboo thing. Like, you don't do that. And so when everything went to court, my dad ultimately got custody of me because the judge in the 80s in North Carolina is not giving the child to the woman dating a black man, to the white woman dating a black man, especially when my dad was the one with the career and the income and the money, and my mom had nothing. He had left her with nothing. Fast forward to when I was 10 years old. During those 7 years after the divorce, my dad taught me to hate my mom. He taught me that she was a sinner, that the Bible did not approve of interracial marriages. He showed me in the Bible where the Bible says you can't marry outside your race. And I believed her to be basically of the devil himself. I hated her. When I was 10 years old, I found out that my dad was being taken to court because my mother was trying to get visitation rights. I was terrified. I didn't want to meet this evil woman. She won. She got visitation rights of me. I'll never forget ever to this day. I can still vividly remember where I was, the weather and everything when she picked me up the first time. I was terrified. But I made it my mission, that first visit, that she would never visit me again. I made that my mission, that she would never want to see me after this day. I called her a sinner. I called her children, because she had 3 children with her second husband. Obviously, they were biracial children. And I called her children the N-word. I called her an N-word lover. Now keep in mind, I'm 10 years old, but this is how I was raised. This is what I believed at age 10. And she told me, you shouldn't think like this or talk like this, and I ignored her. It was like a 2-hour visitation, whatever it was, and then she dropped me back off at my house. I told my dad, she'll never pick me up again, Dad, I promise you. 2 weeks later, when it was time for her next visitation, I waited in my yard on the Saturday at the time that I was supposed to be there. And I was sure she wouldn't pull up, but she did. She did pull up. I was befuddled. Oh my God, she came back. This time, she took me to her house in a mostly black neighborhood, and a place I had never been. I was raised on the mountain, all white neighborhood, very much racist. And I was told that black neighborhoods were crime-ridden, filthy areas. Avoid them. So I went to this black neighborhood and I thought, oh my God. I went in her house and she said, I want you to meet your brothers and sisters. And they came out and they were so excited to see me because my mom had never told them a bad thing about me. And I wanted to be mean to them because that's how I was raised. But I couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to be mean to them because they were so nice and polite to me. I was not nice to them. I tolerated them in my mind, but I wasn't mean to them. And then every 2 weeks she came and got me. And over the course of time, I built a relationship with my siblings, with her. And I started questioning things like maybe the things my dad told me are not true, because what I see in this neighborhood, what I see in my mom's house, what I see everywhere is not what I was told. And I had a choice to make at the early age of about 11. Do I believe what I was raised, or do I challenge these ideas? And just like my mom had got away from my dad and challenged those ideas and grew and was better, I decided that I too can be better. I started challenging the ideas my dad raised me. It started a very tumultuous relationship with my dad, as if it wasn't tumultuous to begin with. Again, I was an abused child. I'm trying to keep this video short, so I'm missing a lot of very deep details, but I'm trying to give you the idea. By the time I was 15, I had read books and read the speeches of Dr. King and watched interviews with Malcolm X, and I really started realizing, like, there's a whole nother world out there that I didn't realize. Fred Hampton, Angela Davis, these things really opened my eyes. And I even basically got into a fight with my dad over it when I was 15 and was thrown out of my house. But my deconstruction process had begun, and it has continued for the past, 27 years. I'm 42 now. And it's all thanks to my mom. Just being a mom. Just showing up. And I've never had, like, the closest relationship with my mom because the story I just told you. But I've been friends with her now for, how old is that? 25 years? And I just want to say thanks for showing up. Thanks for not giving up on me. I may have never challenged my ideas and beliefs and may have been stuck in the same trap that, I was born into, and I wasn't. So, thanks, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
There's two Americas. The America I grew up in says if you comply, everything will be okay. Well, for white America, that's true. But black America faces a very different reality. The use of force and the threat of the use of force is actually 4 times higher for police-initiated interactions. The America I grew up in will say, if you stop talking about racism, it'll go away. Well, for white America, that's true. Because as a white American, I don't have to think about my race. I'm not judged by my skin color as soon as a potential employer meets me. As soon as a loan officer meets me. As someone that's coming to appraise my home for sale, don't judge me by my skin color. As a white American, I can completely forget about my race and even racism, so long as nobody talks about it. So then in my world, it won't exist. Well, I've decided enough of that. I'm here to call white America to task. I'm here to tell white America it's time to stand the hell up. Beside our fellow human beings, beside our fellow citizens, and it's time for white America to be part of the solution. I was raised by racists. I was taught how to be racist. So you can quit telling me that racism doesn't exist. You're a damn liar. I was raised in the belly of the beast. I was raised by racists, and now they hate me. I call that a glow up. I'm not here to speak for black America, over black America, at black America. I'm here to speak to and at white America, and I'm screaming, wake the hell up. White supremacy is woven into the very fabric of this country. White supremacy bleeds from every pore of this country. In schools, we have standardized testing, but we don't have standardized resources. We don't have standardized opportunities. In hospitals, a black woman is more likely to die during childbirth at a rate 3 times higher than that of a white woman. In neighborhoods, power plants and dumps are more likely to be put up by a predominantly black neighborhood than a predominantly white neighborhood. At home, 22% of black America lives in poverty, whereas only 9% of white America lives in poverty. White America loves black music, black trends, black culture, but kills black people at a rate 2.87 times higher than that of white people by the police. All of these things will not change unless we tear down, I'm going to say that again, unless we tear down the system of white supremacy that has built them into existence. We cannot fix the current system, for it is not broken. This system is working exactly as it was intended. Passing laws will not change it. You cannot legislate morality. Black America has screamed tirelessly for decades about these injustices, while white America has turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. Well, I'm here to say no more. Change is coming. Revolution is coming. It's time to open your eyes, white America. White people make up nearly 60% of the American population, and the overwhelming majority of them refuse to even admit that racism exists. They think that there's a conspiracy against them by the government with zero evidence, but ignore the obvious systemic racism and oppression against black America that's well documented. Well, I've made it my life's mission to call white America to task. Mr. Blake, Miss Austin, to all the families of victims of police brutality in this country, to all of those of you who wake up every day and deal with the system of white supremacy built to marginalize you, I say to you this one thing: I will stand with you. I will march with you. I will protest with you. I will fight with you. I will use my privilege and my platform to demand that white America stop ignoring this humanitarian crisis happening right here in America. So, white America, this is your choice. Either be part of the solution, or by God, you are the problem. No justice.
I've never.
Welcome back again. Now, I love the way the first person who spoke there was very honest. Despite the fact that the dad was involved, he chose the truth and rather not to hide from it. And he's just a representation of the many kids that grow in America and grow in those white families. I'm not saying all of the families, but most of those families. And they know nothing about whiteness. They know nothing about being black. All that they know is that we have human beings that grow up with time, and competence has to be the game of the day. They know nothing about whiteness. They know nothing about white privilege. They know nothing about inferiority. But again, with time, they begin to choose, not them choosing for themselves, but the parents choosing for them the path on which they should go. And it's also unfair that, when you're a kid, you have no say. And also when you're a kid, most of the times people get to choose for you until when you're grown up. Now you have that freedom to choose for yourselves. And so we can say the America that we have today is as a result or a product of a failed family system, because that is where the governance, that is where the politics begin. There at the family, that is the basic of the politics. And so if America gets to raise families that honor the other families, or families that honor a certain group, I believe the many problems that we are having, the many racial problems that America has right now, they couldn't be there. Because if you raise a family that respects and doesn't feel so superior to other group, then we could not be at this point. But again, I will not blame the white American families, but I would rather blame the founders of whiteness, because we do understand that whiteness wasn't there. It got born. The period of industrialization of America, when America wanted to, when America was industrial and it wanted labor and it went back to Africa stole some resources from Africa and came and, invested in their country, and also went there back in Africa and carried some slaves, came and used them. And that was the birthplace of it all. Until now, time comes, black people raise and say no to all of that. And we see people like Martin Luther fighting for equality and fighting for dignity for the black community. I think it should have died long time ago, only that we have some custodians who are very religious in terms of how they hand over the baton to generation and generation and generation. But let me congratulate the father that you saw. I do feel, maybe I believe that he's a dad. And if America has numerous dads of the same kind, then America is going to be the best place on earth to reside. But the problem is, how is it going to happen? The problem is, some people are so much attached to being viewed as better humans, or rather say being viewed as the ones in control. They are so obsessed to power so much in that they wouldn't want that to happen. And that is why it might be so hard for them to teach their kids to stand against racism, to stand against prejudice. But seeing what I've seen right now, it speaks a lot of the future of America. The future is bright, and it's gonna be brighter. Many kids that we see that grow up and become biased or become racist, it's not their fault. I blame their upbringing, because kids are very innocent. They are gifts from God, and they come innocently, knowing nothing at all. And we, as the people, now embrace them and, introduce them to this unfair world. But I feel we are the solution, because we are the inhabitants of this world. And so if it's unfair, we are the ones perpetuating the unfairness. And if we are the ones, then we are the ones that should stop it. We cannot blame anything or anyone for the unfairness that we see on earth. And that is why I always raise my voice, even if it doesn't affect me directly, even if it is not impacting me, it is affecting a friend, a brother, a sister, someone from distant, I will still rise and talk about it. And that is why you always see this platform here talking about the matters that promote justice. Because I do believe, I am a firm believer of injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. It doesn't matter the distance, but soon it will catch up with me. And I will blame those people for not standing for me. Yet when they were in the problem, I never rose. I never spoke about it. I never criticized it. I said, it's your problem, deal with it. So when it's my turn, I begin to complain, yet I never stood for those people. It's just the same with what has been happening to many Latinos. We saw it's in a very few times that we saw them come and stand with black people when they were marching there on the streets, demanding for equality and demanding for justice in times when black faced injustices. But when it comes to their turn, now they're getting deported and blacks are not saying anything, are quiet. We see them rising and trying to complain to the black community, saying that, why don't you come and support us? Why don't you come and help us? Yet we are your friends. And so you see that friendship of when it's convenient, it's not genuine. That is why I say, talk about it, whether it affects you or it doesn't. So long as it affects a human being, soon or later it is coming after you. So you better stop it while it is affecting your fellow human being before it comes back to you. Now, this is just my honest remarks concerning this, but I still have a hope that America is gonna be different. I still believe that we have the capability to bring a difference. We have the capability to impact the world, and it all starts with what we are doing. These are just my honest remarks, like I said, and I would love to stop it here. Really hope to see you in the next one, but I would love us to continue with the same conversation in the comment section. Do you think that if now the white kids are raised by black people, there's going to be any difference? And now the black kids raised by white community, if there is a change, if now we reverse stuffs, when the black kids are born, let them be raised by white folks, and when the white kids are born, let them be raised by a black community. I don't know if there will be a difference in the upbringing of those kids, but what do you think about it? Please drop it in the comment section, and also like the video, share the content. I do appreciate your time here. I do appreciate the fact that you taken your time and you've stayed here up to this very point. I cannot take that for granted. I do appreciate greatly. For now, let's call it a session, and let's meet here in the next one. Bye folks. Take care of yourselves.